All right, hey there, everybody. You got Cody coming to you here from Advantage Whitetail along with Clay and Seth. This is our first installment of Advantage Whitetail group chats. How you guys doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing well. Things are great, for sure.
What's going
Clay?
on, Clay?
What's up, guys? Everything's good over here.
Awesome. Well, this is our first installment, like I was saying, of we're kind of terming, at least to start out, is Advantage Whitetail group chat. So you got the three of us here today. Seth's brother Josh will also be joining us in future episodes when he's available. And I guess the goal of this is just to kind of get each of us on the same kind of video here and talk about just general hunting topics that we would talk about outside of this. But we wanted to kind of get it recorded and out there for folks. By no means we know we're not experts, but we're just here to kind of talk about general things and have discussions, probably a few disagreements here and there, and yeah, ultimately we're looking for involvement from all the viewers out there too. You know, by commenting and just engaging with us, it'll bring kind of new things to light, and hopefully we got this nice forum moving forward. We were chatting before. We're not quite sure how often we're going to do it or what the topics are going to be, but just think of some of the main things out there, like shed hunting and tree stand prep or scent control, things like that. And today's topic, I guess, that we're starting out with is just what is AW. We've been around now this past hunting season here in 2019, and with the hunting season's pretty much over here now. Moving forward into the off season, we figured this was a good time to just kind of sort of review what we did this past year, kind of who we are and what we want to do moving forward. So with that, hope you guys enjoy it, and let's just kind of get it started here, guys. I don't know which one of you wants to jump in, but let's kind of put out there on the table who we are, what we do, and why we do it.
Clay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. I think first off, why did we start Advantage Whitetail, or as we're going to kind of tagline it for short, AW? More so than anything, we all grew up together in southeastern Wisconsin, and with time we moved to different states. We don't get to see each other as much, but we all shared a common theme of loving the outdoors, hunting, and more specifically whitetail deer hunting. So we wanted a common place where we could share our experiences in the field with one another, but also with a broader community, and really get a community rolling for like-minded hunters like us that have the same goals in mind and really share our experiences. So that's kind of the general idea behind AW. Obviously, social media is going crazy the last 5-10 years, and no better time than now to jump on it. So we're looking forward to bringing a bunch of content, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, bringing it to like-minded hunters like ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And you enjoy hunting so much, at least we all do, and it's fun to be able to document some of that stuff and look back and just have an Advantage Whitetail, as Clay alluded to, kind of a community spot to share everything versus doing it all individually, and just having a brand that people can identify with is like, that's kind of how we do things. We're not full-time hunters. We wish we were, I'm sure, at some point, but we all hold jobs and things like that. So it's been fun telling the stories and putting out the videos, but as much as we want to show kind of what we know, we're also vulnerable enough to ask things that we're not 100% confident on and that other people might know more than us. So yeah, I thought Clay did a good job kind of breaking down what we're trying to achieve. It's just really more of a YouTube channel and brand kind of style for a bunch of buddies and families to share
Yeah.
their fun.
And ultimately, I think the big thing with it too, and for those of you that have followed us the past few months, you'll kind of see, we're definitely amateur in a lot of different ways, especially on like the production side. We're still learning how to use social media to throw out ideas and, hey, we saw this weird thing in the woods this week. Probably if you saw some of our Instagram posts lately, Clay and I on our farm down in Illinois, we've got a buck that's still in velvet here as of mid-December. Kind of odd. So having that engagement with people to be able to understand exactly what that is or what that means for the future is a cool thing. And previously we would have just maybe had text message groups and kind of float some things by, but to be able to share it on a larger platform is kind of the cool aspect of this whole thing. It's a little bit extra work having to film your hunts and put updates out there on social media, and but we found, I think, in the short period of time that it's been completely worth it. So, yeah, it's exciting for sure. So I guess I would assume too, those out there viewing are going to ask, what's in the name? Why Advantage Whitetail? We've kind of all gone back and forth internally on how we chose the name, but I guess let's get it out there. What's kind of the purpose for the name Advantage Whitetail?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on this, a lot of back and forth, and kind of we knew we wanted something whitetail, right? And there is, there's a lot of names out there. The Whitetail Freaks is one that a lot of people know. But we kind of put a different twist on it. We kind of threw out, we liked Advantage, whether it was Whitetail Advantage or Advantage Whitetail. And ultimately, the brand, I think, kind of describes that there's only so much you can control in a hunting situation, especially with an animal like the white-tailed deer. So as much as you're going to do all the small things, the scent control, the food plots, the calling, the stand location, the studying, the management, you're trying to gain the advantage constantly, but it kind of feels like at least the mature bucks always have the advantage,
Absolutely.
and you're doing all these things to help your odds constantly that at times you're like, is this even worth it?
Mm-hmm.
But so unless you guys have other thoughts, that's kind of where, advantage fits in. So you're always chasing to get the advantage, but you're feeling like you have to play catch up.
Yeah, Seth, you hit out of the park there. I think the mindset we have as the AW team here is we're not just trying to kill a deer, kill a buck, kill a doe. We're really trying to hone in on specific deer, and we're in the game for shooting, mature bucks, unless there's a crazy circumstance where something happens where we're not going to shoot a mature buck. But long story short here, when we're trying to focus in and kill one mature buck that's on a farm, the advantage is with that animal itself. You're not going to see that deer every time out, and you're going to be lucky to get an opportunity at that deer maybe once every 15, 20 sits. So at the end of the day, the advantage stays with that animal, and that's part of the beauty of it. It's an extreme challenge that it gets us all up in the morning to go out there and see if we can take advantage that one time.
Yep, absolutely. Ultimately, you're going into their bedroom, into an environment where their senses are so many times over better than yours. And at the end of the day, you can do everything right by the book, and at the end of the day, it still doesn't come together most of the time. So that's why we kind of put the spin on it. I think you guys did a great job summarizing that. Ultimately, the hunting community is the best resource for folks like ourselves to help gain a better advantage. Understanding, hey, this works for so and so in this part of the country or wherever it else might be, or hey, try this new camo or this new arrow or broadhead does better or whatever it might be. Having this platform to be able to kind of work on that as a team, but then also the broader audience is kind of the neat thing about this. So I guess with that, we've kind of had a good year. We put two bucks on the ground on video, which heck, I think going into it, we would have loved to have had one, and we were blessed enough to have two. But we also have members of the team that had bucks down that weren't on camera. So moving forward, we're going to keep trying to bring all that content to everybody. I guess if we want to maybe do a quick summary in a couple of minutes here of each one of our hunting situations or how our season went and what we expect moving forward. I think that would be beneficial for everybody out there too. So, guys, what do you think?
Setho.
Yeah, I'll take that real quick. So, obviously I shouldn't say obviously, but we all grew up in Wisconsin, eastern part of the state, Sheboygan area, Plymouth, Wisconsin natives, but kind of all went separate ways after, I guess, high school and college. Still remained close friends, of course, but separate ways as far as geography. Kind of growing up in Wisconsin gave us a unique perspective, having hunted in Sheboygan County, but then also, going north into Florence and Forest County. It really kind of shows you, especially, there's a lot of people with different opinions about the wolves and things like that. But as we kept going up north, as we say, up north to those northern Wisconsin counties, kind of really saw how challenging whitetail deer hunting can be when you hunt that environment. So now I live in the Des Moines, Iowa area and hunt, primarily in Iowa. We have a farm in Illinois in Joe Davies County that we hunt as well. Now blessed with a little bit more quality situation, fortunately, through, some family members and friends that have given us permission to hunt. You kind of see what hunting potential has if you kind of manage it right and do things right. But kind of to the point that we talked about earlier, just because you're getting trail camera pictures or there's a 200-inch deer in the area, it just does not mean that he's going to walk by you and you're going to automatically get him on the ground. Especially, I like bow hunting a lot more, so that's the season I focus on. I still hunt the late muzzleloader. But I think there's a perception that there's a booner behind every tree, in Iowa. Whether that's created by TV, you don't always see the hours spent that it takes, especially when, like Clay said, you're identifying one or two specific deer that is likely 5.5 or 6.5 years old. You might see him, but it doesn't mean he's going to be in range or you're going to get an opportunity. And then introducing a camera to the whole situation kind of further, makes the complexity and difficulty even higher. So,
Yeah.
kind of ran a long course there on my background, but from Wisconsin to Iowa, it's quite the change in terms of the situation. But I'll let you guys kind of explain what your situation is and kind of thoughts on that.
Yeah, I can take it. For those that don't know, Cody and I are brothers, so we do have the same general situation. We live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin today, and we, just like Seth, grew up hunting Wisconsin, both in Sheboygan County as well as the far northern part of the state. And we learned very quickly how challenging hunting is, exactly as Seth said. Up there truly it is a sight to see if you see a deer in a day's sit. So we went from that to a couple of years ago. We're very fortunate, and our family was able to purchase a farm in west central Illinois, Brown County to be specific. We have about 500 acres there that we have access to, and it is night and day difference, hunting quality from Wisconsin to Illinois. And we have a unique perspective because we don't forget our roots. We know how hard it is hunting in areas that don't have the quality, habitat, mindset that we are down in Illinois. And I think that will allow us to bring unique perspectives to, people regardless of whatever state you hunt in. We have seen both sides of it. And if a true trophy in your area is a 3.5-year-old 110-inch deer, because that's really the maximum age they get to, we get that. We don't throw shade on that. We totally understand. For us, been fortunate to have our management plan past couple of years play out. This year we harvested 2 bucks that were of 5.5 years old or older, and we're really delighted to see how a management plan, if you follow it and stick to your guns, can work out. So that's the quick rundown for what our situation is. Cody, feel free to add any more.
Yeah, I would say the big difference is, having that management plan now with the farm. It almost consumes you every single day because it's, hey, okay, now we're in the off season. We have to plan for this, and we want to get that done. We want to put a stand here. We want to maybe clear out this area or hinge cut this part of the farm. So it really has changed our entire lives the minute that farm came into the picture. And to be honest, about 5 years ago, before that farm, before we really decided to make a move, I think Clay and I can both agree that we were at pretty much our wits' end as far as hunting goes. And, we had been hunting up in northern Wisconsin for the most part for 10, 12 years. And both of us had only really killed a handful of deer, none of which had any age. So, there's a million different reasons for all that. And we know there's a lot of other people like ourselves in that situation still, and we can get into that in future episodes. But ultimately, our kind of situation changed, and to be honest, it's changed our lives in every single day that the farm, our management plan is on our minds, and that's an exciting journey to go through in the last few years, and that's another reason why we want to bring that to everybody. So it's quite exciting now. Having a 5 hour drive down to the farm every now and then does cause some issues for us as far as being able to check trail cameras every week or anything like that, but maybe that's a good thing. We like to think that the pressure in our area is down because we stay away for extended periods of time. But come hunting season, yeah, you'll see Clay and I down there in West Central Illinois pretty much every weekend, spending some extended weeks there too. We're fortunate enough with our jobs that we can work remotely from time to time. So it's an exciting time, I think, for each one of us. And it's really cool with Seth and Josh. You'll meet Josh in future episodes. Being able to kind of have a similar situation and background. I mean, we've known each other since we were youngsters, and we've fished and hunted up in Wisconsin, and just to be able to have that camaraderie back through Advantage Whitetail is exciting. So yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
I think we did a great job kind of explaining that. But by all means, anybody else has questions about our situation or wants to know kind of how we went about it, or what we project to have for the future, but just hit us up. We're more than willing to share our story. There's a lot of other people out there just like us. So um, I think with that, guys, did you have any other things to add if we want to wrap it up and kind of move about our day?
Yeah, and we hunt Iowa and Illinois, but I think the principles are very translate to really anywhere you whitetail hunt, right? The
Hmm.
the fundamentals remain the same, just your climate or environment changes, and kind of going through there, maybe it was a little harsh on Wisconsin. It's obviously still a very productive whitetail state.
Hmm.
Just the specific areas that we happen to be in made it very challenging, and QDM was not practiced very frequently. So,
Hmm.
um, that is a conversation for another day. But obviously, still one of the best states as far as hunting goes. It's just
Yep.
the pressure. I think you guys alluded to hunting pressure is a lot different in the situations that we're in now,
Hmm.
which allows kind of the management plan to see through, or
Yep.
at least with more confidence. So.
Totally
Good point.
agree with you there. No doubt. Clay, anything else before we bring it to a close? Thoughts? No?
We're good.
Cool. Well, I hope we covered it, to give everybody kind of the picture of who we are, where we've been, and kind of what we want to do moving forward. Like I mentioned, this is kind of our first go at this Advantage Whitetail group chat. We're going to have so many other topics to talk about moving forward. Obviously, we're all moving into the off season right now, so there's a lot of off season topics to cover. We are, as a group, most looking forward to shed season here, and that's coming through in the next month or so. And we're going to be bringing a lot of that action to you guys, the viewer, through the different mediums that we have on YouTube and Instagram, and as well as Facebook. So be on the lookout for that. If you have topics you want us to talk about or bring up, please, again, shoot us a message, DM us, comment on the videos below, and subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification button as well when we post a new video. That's going to help us be able to bring more content to you moving forward. So I think with that, we'll bring it to a close. Appreciate you guys' time today, and we'll be putting together a few more of these in the near future. So I guess for Clay, Seth, and myself, Cody here, signing out, and we'll talk to you all soon. Thanks again.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.